cover chapter 3 of the Stri Dharma Paddhati, which explains the reason for the special rules for women called Stri Dharma. The Shastras say, Shuddhyeram Stri cha Shudrascha Sakrits Prishtabhirantataha. Women and the Shudra Varna become pure immediately by just touching water once to their lips. And therefore, they don't need to do the multiple purificatory samskaras of the men of the other three Varnas. And because the Shaucha rules are only half for women and the Shudra Varna, it necessitates a separate set of overall rules for them. So to understand why women and the Shudra Varna are often clubbed together and why their rules are different from that of the first three Varnas, be it in Achamanam, the ritual sipping of water, or Snanam, bathing, Vastradharanam, the way the clothes are worn. In all these rules, we see that there is a difference. To understand this difference, we have to first understand the basis of Varna Dharma itself. In Sanskritam, it is well known that the same word may seem to have many different meanings. But if we go deeper and deeper and hit the subtlest understanding of that word, we will find that that subtle understanding applies to all the externally manifested definitions. Take the word Varna itself. The most well-known definition of it is from the Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. I am the one who created the four Varnas based on the Guna and Karma. So here, Bhagavan is giving us the easiest way to understand Varna based on its external manifestations as different gunas and different actions, different qualities and different ways of living. Then we go one level deeper and we find the Purusha Sutta talking about Varna as emerging from different parts of the body of the divine Purusha. Here it says that the Brahmana emerged from the mouth, the Kshatriya from the arms, the Vaishya from the thighs, and the Shudra from the feet. Many people connect this to the Guna Karma definition and say that, yes, different parts of the body are needed for carrying out very specific karmas. And therefore, this also seems to connect the two definitions. Then we go a level deeper still. And here we find Rishi Vasishtha mentioning in the Vasishtha Dharma Sutra that the different Varnas are made up of different chandas, different metrical rhythms. So he says the Brahmana is made of the Gayatri chandas, the Kshatriya of the Trishtuk chandas, and the Vaishya of the Jagati chandas. Therefore, all the Vaidika samskaras for these three should be according to this chandas meant for each of them. How does chandas now connect to different parts of the body and to the guna and karma? Still deeper than that is the most obvious understanding of Varna, which in many regional languages simply means color. We have in the Mahabharata a conversation between two rishis, where the rishi is saying that the Brahmana is of Sita Varna. Sita means white or bright. Kshatriya is of the Lohita Varna, red. Vaishya is of the Pita Varna, yellow. And Shudra is of the Asita Varna, that is, there is no light, so we call it dark or black. Obviously, it is not a reference to the complexion or the skin color, because Hindus are not yellow or red. What then is the meaning here? So we know Varna as color, Varna as sound, chandas, Varna as different parts of the body, and Varna as different guna and karma. If we try to understand this through the modern lens, then color is nothing but a specific frequency of the visible light. So color can also be called light of a specific frequency of vibration. Sound is nothing but the vibration of particles in a medium. Different sounds are produced from different frequencies of vibration. Similarly, guna, thoughts or emotions are also fundamentally vibrational in nature. Negative emotions such as anger, sadness, lust, jealousy, they are all of low frequency vibrations. And positive emotions such as devotion, unconditional love, seva, all these are of higher frequencies of vibration. And finally, modern science has well recognized that different parts of the human body vibrate at different frequencies. The organs, even in different parts of the body, have their own frequencies of vibration. When we put all of this together, we come at the understanding that Varna essentially means frequency of vibration. That is why in the Lalita Sahasranama, when they say, Brahmakita Janani Varnashrama Vidhayini, Devi is the one who created everything, from the tiniest worm to the greatest Brahma. And she is also the one who established Varna. We are here referring to Varna as vibration existed in all of creation. Anything that is matter vibrates at the atomic level. And it is this vibration which manifests as color or sound or as frequencies of different parts of the body or even as thoughts and actions. This is the most advanced understanding of the human body known to the rishis through their experience of perceiving the subtle phenomena. The great scientist Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The rishis not only thought in those terms, they actually perceived reality like that. And when a sadhak becomes subtle enough by journeying in the path of their swadharma, they will start experiencing life around them as form of vibrations. And only then will the true meaning of Varna be known to them as their own experience. Every human takes birth with a given frequency of vibration. This frequency is determined at the time when they left the body in a previous birth. Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, tyajatyante kalevaram, tam tamaiveti kaunteya, sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever thought we have continuously in our mind, at the time of death, we acquire a birth suitable to that very thought in our next coming. Even if a person has lived according to the swadharma he attained in a previous birth, for example, if he lived all his life fulfilling the role of a brahmana, if at the moment of death there came thoughts of worldly matters, attachment to family, insecurity about money, and fear of dying, then the Shastra says in his next birth, he will definitely attain a lower vibration based on these emotions. Similarly, If a person of a particular vibration, say a Kshatriya, lives according to his Swadharma and dies courageously in a battlefield facing the enemy, which is part of his dharma, then he attains Viragati and a higher birth, a higher vibrational birth next time. So Varna is indeed something that happens and is a given at birth because it is the level at which the atoms in the body vibrate. Modern science also recognizes this and says that yes, every human has what we call the resonant frequency of vibration. Medical therapies based on sound therapy, they call them. These are based on trial and error, where different sounds are tried on a human until they understand that frequency which matches the body's frequency. The therapy then is given such that it never exceeds the body's resonant frequency. So the rishis have also understood this very fact. And they said that if a person of one varna performs the occupation of a person of a higher varna, that is, if he causes his body to vibrate at a frequency that is more than his resonant frequency, then he will go through suffering. Many times we think that the guna karma definition of the Bhagavad Gita means that Sri Krishna is saying that anyone who adopts these actions will then belong to that varna. If that was the case, we must also explain why in that same chapter 18, the same Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushthitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvan napnoti kilvisham. Which means, even if one is able to perform the swadharma of another varna very well, even in that case, it is advisable for him to stick to his own swadharma. Otherwise, he may incur kilbisham. Kilbisham could mean disease or injury. Here, we are told of something very tangible, very concrete that could happen if we try to perform the varna of another person. At the atomic level, if the atoms in the body exceed the body's natural vibrational capacity, then the electrons jump out of their orbits and the atom becomes a free radical. If this happens en masse in the body, for example, if a person of the Vaishya Varna listens to mantras meant for the Brahmana Varna, then the atoms in his body will en masse turn into free radicals. And this in turn causes what is known as oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is considered as the primary reason for all sorts of diseases, from simplest things like aging to more complicated matters like cancer, infertility. For all of this and underlying all of this is oxidative stress. That is why the Shastras warn people against doing something that is not in accordance with their Varna. If a person of a higher Varna, such as a Brahmana, does the occupation and cultivates the qualities of a person of, say, the Vaishya Varna or the Shudra Varna, then it may not affect his body biologically. That is, he will not go into oxidative stress because it is still within the capacity of his resonant frequency. But his spiritual progress will be greatly suffering because of this. Adhyatmic progress happens when we all attain that which is natural to the body's vibrational capacity, natural to the resonant frequency. And then we go beyond it by losing awareness and losing the identity with the body. So people of the first three varnas have to first bring their body to their respective frequencies of vibration. And only then can they be considered as pure for rituals. Whereas women and the Shudra Varna, for us, because our frequencies of vibration are the lowest, it is enough for us to do half of the Shaucha rituals to reach that level of vibrational purity. And that is why only half the Shaucha rules are necessary for women in the Shudra Varna.